Mike, could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I've been in the advanced transportation arena for about 12 years now. I originally started in hydrogen-fueled cars, getting my master's degree at Virginia Tech, and have stayed in the business of transportation since, working at Ford Motor Company, some time even before that at Cummins Engine Company, so a little exposure to heavy trucks. And then after Ford, working for the Rocky Mountain Institute for 2 years on heavy-duty fuel economy. And then now I work for several organizations, including the International Council on Clean Transportation, that's working on heavy-duty fuel economy and emissions, also for marine, air, and light-duty vehicles. And for some local nonprofits in Colorado, working for improved energy efficiency in the entire economy of the region.
And was there anything today that surprised you about the Charrette?
I think the thing that surprised me most about the Charrette, and about a similar meeting that I attended recently in Detroit, is how willing and open the industry is to talk. Perhaps it's because we're in the early stages of driving the efficiency discussion towards reality in the heavy trucking arena. But people are very willing to get the information out there and come quite quickly to some of the key decision points that I've seen in the area, and that's about how the fact that we don't necessarily know how to measure fuel economy correctly, and that we know that there's a big desire to move not just better trucks, but to move more freight in better ways. And that's, I think, a very important step forward.
And that's something that we talked a lot about today, quantifying efficiency. What do you think the most effective and accurate metric is in measuring efficiency?
Well, there's not a whole lot of agreement on what that should be yet, and I can't quite say what the best efficiency metric is. But I think it's very important to measure not just miles per gallon, which is a number we're all very familiar with. We call that maybe fuel efficiency. But to measure both the freight efficiency, but also a fuel consumption related to that freight. Because our real goal is to burn less fuel. It's not to be 100% more efficient or 500% more efficient. It's to burn a very minimum amount of fuel for a maximum amount of freight. So we want all the goods and services, or all the goods moved across the country that we can for that minimum amount of fuel. So that leads towards a ton-mile per gallon metric. It leads towards something cubic volume miles per gallon, or maybe even flipping miles per gallon on its head and saying gallons per mile for each ton moved. And so as the industry moves through discussion, I think somewhere towards the end there, the gallons per mile for a ton moved is going to be maybe where we end up.
Okay, and today your group set a 5-year goal of a 50-state agreement standardizing new truck size, weight, and operational standards. Can you describe the efficiency gains that this type of standard would facilitate?
Well, that's a huge goal, and if it was to be achieved, it would be a huge efficiency gain. And it is at 2 levels. The first efficiency gain is just fixing a system that is very different from a state-to-state basis on how much weight a truck can carry, how long it can be, the position of its axles, the characteristics of the truck beyond that, even getting into what equipment is on board, ranging from aerodynamic efficiency all the way down to chains. And because of that, a trucker has to make a change at a state border that might include moving his axle, or might include dropping one of his trailers. If he was carrying 3, he might only be allowed to carry 2, or if he was carrying 2, he might only be allowed to carry 1. And so harmonizing across 50 states gets rid of those existing inefficiencies. But if you do manage to harmonize, and you can harmonize to include some new opportunities, for instance, maybe slightly higher weights, manage to make sure that bridges are still protected, or longer lengths, manage to make sure safety is preserved, then those are efficiency steps that are available to the immediate truck industry without actually having to go make giant vehicle technology investments. That's just a change to the vehicle dimensions and its weight. It's not a technology investment. Beyond that, of course, we definitely need to move ahead with truck technology.
Thank you. And you authored Rocky Mountain Institute's Transformational trucking paper about a year ago. and that was mentioned several times during the charrette. What impact has that paper had, and what implications does it still have moving forward?
Well, I wish I could go out there and tell you every place the paper has been used, but I know of a few places. Well, one, I think pulling the MOVE team together to write this paper means that this charrette happened, and I'm proud to say that the group's carrying on that work, and excited to see all of our Rocky Mountain Institute get behind the charrette. So just bringing this group together in the bringing this group together in the transformational trucking charrette is a big step forward. Beyond that, it's starting to filter into other conversations about where the industry needs to go. So in various events in the industry and in government, including this National Academy of Sciences meeting I just attended in Detroit last week, that paper has been included in the list of papers that need to be read by the attendees when it comes to understanding the opportunities that are out there. So it's already in line with research papers from the University of Michigan Transportation Research Institute, followed by papers written by MIT and others, including EPA SmartWay publications. And so I think that's a good sign that we've contributed to the body of work that the industry is considering as we move towards more efficient trucks.
Thanks so much for your time, Mike.
Thank you.